Welcome back to the channel. My name's Andrew. What we're working on today, very short suspense. I got an hour and a half to get it done. The backstory is a friend of ours lives a couple blocks away, ordered some turf from a big box store. Showed up the first time with no way to unload it for them, even though they paid for residential delivery. Sent it back, canceled the order because they were no show on the second delivery, and they showed up today, so they just received it because they want the turf. But guy dropped it off the back of the truck, and now we need to get to the backyard. And like I said, I have about an hour and a half to get something put together. So what I'm gonna do is kind of a tricycle deal that will go underneath it. We can use the skid steer to pick it up and set it on the tricycle, but the skid steer doesn't fit through the gate in the side yard. So I'm gonna throw this tricycle together. I got some plywood to lay down because it's these darn landscape stones like you see out here. It's these darn landscape stones on all these yards. Don't mind mine, it's also my paint booth, which I'm sure you've seen if you've seen my other videos. But so I grabbed a couple sheets of plywood in the back of the truck there to throw down to help us roll across it. And it's gonna be a very kind of a quick video, so probably one of my shorter ones. So come along for the ride on this one. The roll weighs 400 pounds and it's 12 foot long, and from the picture I saw, it looks to be about between 2 and 3 foot wide, so it'll just barely fit through the gate. And I think their walk-through gate's a little bit wider than mine. Mine's at like 42 or 43, so we got some room to spare, but not too much. But yeah, so I grabbed some steel I had on my my steel rack, and my garage is a mess right now because I'm kind of in the middle of reorganizing it before winter so I can do some inside projects. But let's get this done and get this turf moved in my buddy's backyard. Let's get to it. All right, all those pieces of metal are tied together. Pretty much the last thing I really want to do this, I set that caster back a little bit because I want to be able to put a ratchet strap around the roll to this. So what I might do is weld on a couple of chain links in the front here, something to hook the ratchet strap to, and then probably in the back, and I want at least one set of V to hold the roll centered, in addition to the ratchet straps. What I might do is 2 sets of V's so that the roll sits down in it. If this were wider, like a 10-inch web I-beam or something like that, you could just set the roll in it, and the flanges on the beam would be enough to hold it in, but this is not. So let's go scout out some scrap metal from the shelf and make a couple of shallow V's. Alright, so I have these 4 pieces with 30-degree angle on them. They're 12 inches long, and that is going to be perfect for a little saddle. The only concern I might have, which looks like we're going to be good, is contact with the tires, but I think we're going to be alright. So let's get these tacked up. Some really light stuff, so it should work though. Not bad. Similar gap to what I had on this side. That's just I didn't clean that off well enough, but you can see how thin that stuff is right there. So build a nice puddle on the thick stuff, you know, the nice thick rusty stuff, and then just kind of come up and drag that puddle in, just slightly touch this, and you end up with something like that. I'm a self-taught welder, so take whatever I say with a grain of salt and do what you want. That'll do. Probably overkill. So this one is close to this caster, and the deal with casters, you got those little bearings in there, and they ride in grease. And I've definitely had an issue before where I get it too hot around those, and they open up on me, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense because those are probably stainless steel balls in there, but I assume there's balls on the top side here as well. I've never actually taken one of these casters apart, but that only makes sense. So I don't think we're going to weld these, because it's definitely going to heat this whole area up, and I don't want to throw this caster out of whack right now. So let's see if we can find our chain links to weld onto here, and then we're pretty much done. We'll throw the tires on and load up the skid steer and be ready to go. All right, well, here we are. This was supposed to be, I mean, I did it in an hour, and it's not exactly perfect, but it's pretty good. Those are a little uneven. As you can see, that one sticks out a little bit farther, but that'd just be a quick trim job, which, if nothing fails on this today, you know, maybe gets a little coat of paint. Because I can think of some other things that it could move around, like beams, wooden beams, I-beams, whatever, into backyards. Plenty of stuff. Stacks of wood. I'm sure I could find some other uses for it, but yeah, if nothing fails today, I'll probably trim that off because it's bothering me already. And honestly, that one's probably a little better because it covers the tire a little more, but you know, I just, it was a last minute little addition, and I had a couple of pieces of that nice wide stuff, so I threw that 30-degree angle in there and put it over the tire. And I figure if we still have contact with the tire, I can just shove a piece of lumber in there that would help, but I don't really see it being an issue now. There should be plenty of clearance. So we got our chain links to do our ratchet strap hook, and then around the roll, back that side, front and rear. And then I put this hole in here so we could take, and I've got a spare, yep, right here, the spare one of these. So now one guy can pull, and one guy can push, or two guys can push, and one guy can pull and steer. So let's get this thing off, get it on the ground, and get the skid steer loaded up. There she is in all of her fine glory. I think it's gonna do well. About 175, so just over double my weight. But yeah, we're there. Got the plywood loaded up. Let's get the cart loaded up, our straps, and I'm bringing an air compressor. These are tubeless, but they've been sitting flat for probably 3 years, so they seem to be holding enough air. I hope this doesn't take more than 30 minutes with weight on them. I think it'll last plenty longer than that, but something's gone wrong if this takes more than 30 minutes. But worst case, knock the dust off the old three-wheeler here and give her some tugs. The thing in first gear, it's a 110, but the thing in first gear will put you on your butt real quick. So let's get her loaded up. Got her all loaded up. Kids are being entertained on the skid steer, but it's pretty much perfect. I don't even think we're gonna need the plywood. Let's see. It's a two-handed operation at least.
Yeah, let's go on the rock.
I'm holding the camera.
That works so well, I might throw a coat of paint on this and put it in the backyard. Alright, well that's a wrap for today. So this adventure was kind of one of those, so this comes from Josh from Stony Ridge Farmer, which is a channel I like to watch, but neighbors helping neighbors. So if you get the opportunity to to help one of your neighbors out and make their life a little bit easier. I've got a lot of stuff around here and I enjoy fabricating, so I was able to help one of my neighbors out with my abilities, and that's pretty much what this was. If you get the chance to do that, jump on it. They'll appreciate it. It makes their life a little bit easier, and to be honest, it's something I really enjoyed, so fabricating an excuse to break the skid steer out, and it went a lot easier than I thought it was going to. I bought that plywood for the rocks, which we didn't even need it because those lawnmower turf tires just rolled right across, but maybe I'll find another use for that cart. Probably hit it with a quick coat of paint to keep it from rusting up too terribly bad, make it last a little bit longer, or at least be a little prettier. But yeah, if you get the chance to help out a neighbor, go for it. They'll appreciate it. So it's gonna wrap up this video. Like I said, it's a really quick one, and I appreciate all of my subscribers and all of my viewers. So until the next time, take care.
Paint.
Yeah.
Again, I'm following you.
Another one of Daddy's silly creations.
Yeah, it is.